Hi, friends. We are starting this live a little early. Um, did I tell you? I probably did already, but when I take the thumbnails, because obviously I don't have like an uploaded video where I can take a screenshot from, so I have to do my live first, and I usually take like a silly photo. So that I had the picture of me holding my coffee and like some essential oil, and we'll rub that on together. But if you ever watch my lives and you're like, hey, she changed her thumbnail, I did, because I'm finally in the frame. Like they give you 3 seconds to take a photo. So yeah, we are starting the live 2 minutes early. So welcome here. My name is Ashlee. Yeah, we're gonna do some morning motivation meditation. Morning meditate. Say that 3 times fast, and it's just going on 6. I've been up since like 5. Well, I had my alarm at 4. That's when I set my alarm to wake up. 444 is an angel number for protection. So I was kind of just laying in my bed, and I'm like, do I want to do this? No, I have a message I need to share with y'all. Motivation, get motivated to wake up early. So we're going to touch on a few things. A lot of stuff is self lived, and maybe you can resonate with it. Being Earthside for 26 years. Crazy. So, yeah, welcome to the live. I was in the middle of an introduction. My name is Ashlee. I am a yoga therapist and I've been practicing for 9 years. If you'd like to support this channel, you can subscribe to this channel totally free. And we do weekly classes. And when I do have the time, because y'all, I manage two businesses. I manage a yoga studio and I manage my craft business, Confidential Good. So yeah, when I have time, I will post maybe once a week. It may be every other week, depending on if I can get content. And I didn't get content this last week, so you can always rely on the lives that I do. So there will always be 3 lives that you can join throughout the week, and then like on a Wednesday, if I do have time, I will post an edited video. So yeah, go ahead and grab your coffee. Grab your mat. We're gonna be sitting over here today, so I'm gonna actually scoot away from the camera. Otherwise, do you guys like it when I'm this close? I have set up a little cushion over here and a little blanket, and I feel like that's the utmost comfort. When I went on my yoga teacher trainings, and I'd just be sitting on this hard floor, and I think it took me 1 or 2 trainings to see I need a meditation cushion. And so, if y'all been rocking with me since I've been on here for a good while. 2016, 2017, Carrie actually ended up buying me a cushion. It was like $100. It was the brand Samaya. It was a beautiful pink cushion. So if you've seen that, that has traveled with me for on all of my teacher trainings. I'm pretty sure I did after once he brought it. It was a birthday present. Had to be 2016 or 2017. But it was so cute. And now we have these gray cushions that my friend, she had a yoga studio, and so she gave me these gray cushions. I have like 5 of these, so yeah. The ultimate setup, though, is what I was saying. You don't want to be sitting on the floor. Like, if you're going to be meditating and you're going to be chilling out for a while, I'm actually going to scoot forward. You want a cushion, but then you want like a blanket underneath so your ankles aren't knocking into the floor. So I got my cushion. This is the brand Peace Yoga. And I have to say it's a good brand because one of my friends on the teacher training, she had one of those Peace Yoga cushion as well. So yeah. I had this calling this morning to do some Monday motivation. So let's just start by taking a few deep breaths and gathering some essential oils. My my favorite essential oil is Balance, and I'm going to tell you the story after. I'm going to show you really quick. There's always a story to follow. Everything has a story if you're new here. This is Balance. This is my favorite essential oil, and the reason it has a beautiful green tint. Let me just come up close so I don't have to keep picking up the mic. It has a beautiful green tinge, an earthy tinge, and it's for grounding. And I don't know a whole lot about the zodiacs. I'm a Pisces, if you couldn't tell. I'm very emotional. I don't like to cry, but I do cry a lot when I get in my feelings, whether I'm happy or if I'm frustrated. Yeah. I'm just trying to get a little bit out so it doesn't spill. This light is not very good. You can see there's like, it's a little bit of a green tinge, you might be able to tell, but I'm gonna rub that in. And I just find it to be so healing. I love this oil. And I was first introduced to it by my master yoga instructor. And I gotta go visit the studio again. I did do, it's been 2 years now. Why does time fly so fast? In 2022, I did a market. They have been expanding so much at the studio. It's like where I did my trainings. It's always been a community location, but they hosted like a artisan market. So I visited, I went back to Burlington, but I didn't get to see my master teacher. I seen some of my students, not my students, but my friends that I trained with, my other yoga instructor friends. But yeah, we're going to start with just a few deep breaths. I feel myself sliding. And if this is your first time ever sitting in a meditation cushion, you sit in it and then you let the buckwheat kind of pull you forward. So your knees can sit lower than your hips. And you can sit longer in your meditation. And then your knees or your shins here are supported by your blanket. So let's just start with a few deep breaths. I feel like I should elevate this in some way. But I don't have like I could stack this microphone on some blocks, but we're going to get into that in a sec. Meditation, motivation, and investing in yourself. That's gonna be the whole talk today. So you can listen to this like a podcast. You can listen to it with your eyes closed if you'd like. But grab some oil if you've got some. Cup your mouth, cup your nose, and let's take some deep breaths. Two more. So I hope that helped us ground. You can continue with those deep breaths. Audible exhales help us to relax, and it's kind of like sending a reminder to your brain, hey, I know I breathe, but it's like on autopilot, but the exhale is like, oh yeah, I should probably breathe slower. And we could go into that whole tidbit that I always usually go into about breathing. Pranayama. Prana meaning life, yama meaning force. Your breath is your life force energy. And something really sacred, you could go into, it's your birthright. It's something that you are capable of doing. And you know how busy this world is, having us on high alert mode. We are always in the alpha mode rather than the beta mode. I believe, hopefully I didn't mix those up, but we're always on go. So when you can take control of your breath and your breathing, it gives you a more clear mind. It allows you to think more clearly. So remember to breathe. That's one of my tidbits. The second tidbit I usually go into about audible exhales, because it's reminding yourself, your body, your brain, because this thing is crazy. It will come up with scenarios that haven't even happened and have you stressing for no reason. So take an audible exhale. I watched this one YouTuber, totally unrelated to the content that I do, but he always has his audience do a deep breath at the end. Because like when you're stuck and doing your work, your daily to-dos, you forget to breathe. And I learned this before I had my son, to do belly breaths. Why do I need to do belly breaths? Because have you ever seen how a baby breathes? Babies, you lay them on their back. That's how they're sleeping. They're breathing with their belly. And you don't notice this, but you too should be breathing with your belly when you're asleep. I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm sorry if it sounds nasty in the mic. But reminder to belly breathe even when you're functioning in your daily to-dos. Belly breathing allows you just to reset your body and your parasympathetic nervous system. That's a big word. Parasympathetic nervous system. It's the reminder to take your body out of fight or flight or freeze. That's getting into like yoga therapy talk, but it just helps you reset your nervous system. And that's why people are so anxious. It could be one of the factors. I'm not going to claim it because everyone's different, but remembering to breathe, not in your throat. How much air are you actually getting when you're... That's like the start of a panic attack when you're not getting enough air to your brain to function right, to make good decisions. You're not so you're not going to be thinking correctly. You're just going to be thinking in, what do they call it? I was going to say prehistoric. That's what came to mind first. But you're thinking in like a lower end. You're not able to rationalize your decisions. Same with just breathing from your chest. Ribs are expanding a little bit, but it's not doing much. Belly. It can even just be breathing out of the nose. When I'm teaching yoga classes and we do a nice long tidbit on breathing, and you may resemble the awkward student that doesn't want people to hear them breathe. It's okay to breathe out of your nose, but like if you're really trying to relax, let the exhale come out of your mouth. The visualization for my visual learners, it's like you're fogging up a mirror or you're fogging up a window or something. That's how you should be able to exhale enough hot air that you can fog up a window with it. Then you know that your body's getting enough oxygen. So, yeah, breathe like a baby. So, I felt called today. We're going to do a meditation. This could be something you ponder. So, my Saturday class is sound healing and meditation. So, this is just a little food for thought today. And I wanted to go into some life about investing in yourself. So I'm trying to remember my thoughts. I'm still, is the word reluctant? I really hate writing scripts. I used to do scripts and I tried to do voiceovers. If you've seen my other yoga content, like 2022, I think I had like a good stride of like 6 videos where I was doing voiceovers and how to do classes and stuff. But I feel maybe, how do I explain it? I just feel when it's off the dome, it's more authentic and you're not thinking of, well, I need to put this filler in here and there. Whatever. Maybe I'll get better at it if I look into some more guidance of how people do their voiceovers. But I just feel like today and everything else that I do, it's more authentic when it's just coming from the dome. Investing in yourself. So I've been a yoga teacher since 2016. I'm 26 now. And where do I go with this? I came from a family of lack and scarcity. I grew up in the suburbs and I had my resources provided, but as I got older, the resources kind of started to dry up. So in my early adult life, now I'm like mid 20s. What the heck? I'm getting so old. In my early adult life, I had to leave my house early. My parents were losing their house, and I was stuck in this survival mode. I was living with my husband, my boyfriend at the time, but we're celebrating 5 years this year of marriage. But I've lived with my husband my entire adult life. So, like, I think I talked about my trauma earlier, but having to live with him in his grandma's house and finally getting our own place, and we've been independent since. So, sacrifice and just thinking clearly when you're making your decisions. I don't feel like we did rash decisions that would put our lives in jeopardy, but every step and everything we did, we invested, and he helped invest in me. So just having a partner like that was really sweet. He helped invest in my yoga teacher trainings, and they were like $200 to $300 per time I went. And so it adds up to like 3,000 if you want to run the numbers. But I did that over the course of 2 years. So I feel like the first step for me, investing in myself, was taking the leap and doing my yoga teacher training. So I'm telling this story, this scattered brain story, and hopefully it resonates with you to invest. Maybe you need to take a class to help advance your life, or like a training or something like that, doing more research. Start by investing in that. Start doing the free stuff just to kind of get yourself acquainted with that feeling. So what did I do? I took like a year off, and I was just working, saving up money, and I was still living on my own. This before everything these last 2 years went up. This was I graduated in 2015. So like 2015 to 2016, I was just doing me. I switched from part-time to full-time at my job, and I was just doing yoga classes on YouTube. And then I finally went into my yoga teacher trainings. Then that was a whole year, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do these trainings. Me and Carrie were driving to Madison, Wisconsin. We were driving to Burlington. Those are the two places I did my trainings. And that was the first step. I also wanted to say invest, just a random tidbit. I need to invest in myself. This is my reminder to get another microphone, because I teach these yoga classes. This microphone is great for podcasts and sitting down, but I need a microphone to attach to like my shirt, so that when I'm moving, you can still hear me and I don't have to run up to the microphone. So I seen on TikTok a little $10 microphone. I need to invest in that. I need to quit playing around, because it's a retraining thing, and this is the generational curse that we're breaking. Like I said earlier, I came from a family of lack and scarcity. And when you keep that at the front of your brain, this kind of goes into yesterday's message. So if you didn't hear, I had to set yesterday's class to kids only, but you can watch it because my son joined. And that message was the bag of marbles. So are you filling your bag of marbles with positive thoughts that matter? Or are you just dwelling on negative things? Because then when you look at it, I just got a bunch of negative stuff in my bag, and like, why am I mad? Check your bag, okay? What's in there? If you're a visual learner, the bag of marbles from yesterday's talk, colorful, beautiful marbles. If you need to go to the store, go ahead and buy yourself some colorful marbles. And every time you can, when you have time, don't be crazy and just like, you're in the middle of work, I have to fill my bag of marbles. Every time you have a positive thought, fill it with some, like a nice marble, colorful marble. But when you have a negative thought, put a black one in there. If you need to see that as a visual, and then by the end of the day, Notice how many black marbles you have to colorful marbles. If it's more black marbles, then you're not thinking positively. You're attracting negativity around you. So that's kind of the first step, going back now to the message today of living in scarcity, taking your mindset out of living in scarcity. And I had to remind myself that money flows to me. Money is abundant. And my parents always complained about money. So today I'm just letting it go to the wind. Let this be your reminder to money is a resource or a vehicle, as people have put it. It helps you get to the places you need to go, the things that you need to do to live a better life, to, how do I say it? Make your life more comfortable. How can I put myself in a more comfortable state? By investing in myself. So, how do I tie this together? Like I said, this is just all off the dome. Trying to relate it from my story, my perspective of telling this. But yeah, somehow all of these years of me living on my own as an adult, I had to move out at 18. We always made, we've never been late on a bill. And I'm just so grateful for that. That wasn't established in my household. That was something I had to learn as an adult, to be mindful with my spending and mindful of how I'm utilizing the money that I have generated. So I did my trainings. I started picking up classes at senior home. I was doing chair yoga classes. That was like my first one. I think those were free just to get my feet wet. And then I actually got one at a different senior home doing chair yoga classes. And then I slowly started to pick up classes at a local gym. And I hated public speaking. I hated being in the front, being the center of attention. Because coming from a white suburbs, I was always the center of attention. Not like that, but I was always the black kid. I wasn't the center of attention, but you knew I was there. You knew I was different. And so I didn't really like that attention on me. So I chose to become a yoga teacher to help me organize my thoughts, help me become a better speaker. And more so with confidence too. I really wasn't being fueled with confidence as a child. So as an adult, it's like anchors. You notice like your weaknesses of when I get into a mindset, I kind of start closing up. I'm like, I'm not good. I can't do that. I can't do this. But I want to remind you that you can. And it's just retraining the mind. It's neuroplasticity. Your mind, your brain is plastic. It's a weird kind of plastic. And that's why I think I said this before too in a talk. That's why he got a smooth brain. People be using that as an insult, smooth brain, because you ain't got no lines in your brain. You don't have new connections you're making in your brain. You're in the same thought process. Think of it now as you sit here. Am I in the same thought process as I was a year ago or even 5 years ago? And if I am, is that helping me now or is that hindering me? Because life is changing around us, you know? Yeah, so investing in yourself. I invested in these classes, these trainings to help me start doing my classes. And the whole time, you've heard my story about me working at Home Depot. I used to sit in the garden hut and I would journal and envision the yoga studio that I wanted. So I didn't know how I was going to get a yoga studio, but I said, I'm going to need this many mats, I'm going to need this many teachers, etc., etc. And I just kept journaling about that. And I started reading the book, Creative Visualization. And I believe the author is Shakti Kaur. And there were exercises in that book that you can do. That book you can find on Amazon. So I really focused on for a while on creative visualization. This is back in 2016, 2017. 2018 is when I finally left Home Depot. And since 2018, that's when I became self-employed. So it's not linear when you are self-employed, especially when you don't have a huge reach like these influencers, and the money is not consistent. But a reminder, I remind myself, the money is always flowing. And I keep going back to the money because that's all my parents would talk about. And I never ran out. And I never will run out. And I'm going to say that to myself, and I hope you say that to you. Money is a resource. And it's almost like being delusional. It's not going to run out. I know I can use my skills to continue to generate some kind of income. And so it just starts with investing in yourself. Maybe it's from square one. What am I good at? What are my skills? I thought I was just going to do yoga. So I would tell like aspiring students or like that wanted to be teachers or aspiring just students that came to my class and they wanted to hear my journey. I'd be like, I'm going to do yoga until the day I die. And the only thing that's going to stop me is when I have my son or my child, because I didn't know I was going to have a son. We didn't know the gender until he was born, fun fact. So the only thing that's going to make me sit up and not be able to practice yoga physically is when I have to go on my maternity leave. But I thought I was just going to do yoga. I was only investing in myself to do yoga, meditation, and Reiki. And that's great to do, but I needed something else creative. So then 2020, like I kind of started, I was still pregnant. So it really didn't jump off until like 2022, end of 2022. Like I was doing stuff here and there, but I had a newborn. So that's where my attention was. I really didn't start getting into embroidery and the other crafts that you see now today on my channel until like really 2022. That's when I started doing my markets and just building up my inventory. So I'm always investing in myself. I'm always right now just trying to make more goodies. So by the time spring comes around, I have so much inventory that I can just start doing market after market. So I invested in myself. The second kind of story here, becoming a self-taught embroiderer. I'm no expert, but studying that textile, studying how to make rugs and how to tuft, studying how to use like a Cricut. And I've always wanted to share my art. I shut that out after high school because my mom was very negative. So if you're unaware of that, I did not have a nice mom growing up. That's why I had to leave my house so early. She didn't think I could make money doing yoga. And I'm looking at price. I have a tickle in my throat. I'm looking at Googling, like literally Google everything, guys. How much does a yoga instructor make? And on the low end, it could be like a class a week, maybe. Or are they trying to pay me $12 to do a class at the whack? That wasn't even paying me $12. It was like $10. My first ever check, because it was a half an hour class, these monkeys paid me like $5 or $6 because that's half of $10 or $12, whatever they were trying to pay me in the taxes and stuff. That was my first check. So if you go way back, I have a video about my first yoga paying check. I didn't care. I said I finally got paid to do something that I actually wanted to do. I don't want to be a cashier. I didn't want to be a cashier, and I did that for several years. I worked at 2 retail places, and I knew that wasn't for me. But I knew I needed to generate money so then it can start flowing into my passions. I hope you're following along. So yeah, investing in yourself. Where do we go back from there? It's very early. I just want to motivate y'all today. Trying to keep this authentic and going into several stories. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. How does it look like investing in you? Start there. I was working with I'm doing mentoring. So now we're doing mentoring. Where did that come from? That came from a year ago. Hi. I became a mentor like a year ago, so random. I was supposed to be taking clients for yoga, and they're like, well, we don't have yoga clients right now. We have kids in need of a mentor. So I started doing mentoring. So we're here. And I took this girl to my shop. She expressed to me in our earlier meetings, I want to learn how to open a business. I want to be a business owner when I grow up. Or she's in high school, but just a few years. How do I start investing in myself? So I took her to my shop at the Midwest Market, and it's an old Pick and Save, so an old grocery store if you're not local here. They took an old grocery store and they converted it basically into a mall. So there's about between 30 to 40 self-employed business owners at that establishment. It's really cool, and I'm one of them. I took her there to show her my store, to show her my crafts, and to talk with the other business owners. My story is going to be different from everybody else's story. So the story I non-linearly